Battlefield 2042. What can I say about this game that hasn't been said already? You know, everybody always wants to look at the negative of this game, everything that this game does wrong, but it might be a good idea to start looking at the good things that this game has to offer. Not today, because today we're gonna talk about 10 things that Battlefield 2042 players dislike, or should I say, hate, or despise. 10 things in Battlefield 2042 that makes players want to kill themselves. Obviously, this is not gonna be the whole list of things we hate about the game, because the video would be 5 hours long probably. No, I chose 10 things that pretty much covers the whole thing, and then a couple of other things that I don't see too many people complain about, but are 100% annoying to the entire community. So be sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel. Let's begin. First, a quick shout out to GamerRanks. You know, they've been doing these types of videos for a very long time, and they inspired me to do one for Battlefield 5 back in the day, and now it's time for Battlefield 2042. So a quick shout out. Let's start with number 1. We're first gonna start with the obvious one, and that is the specialist system. Now, I personally don't really mind it that much anymore, but in pretty much every single Battlefield related video or media that I watch, I see a lot of people in the comments talking about how the specialist system, you know, kind of ruined one of the core aspects of the Battlefield franchise, which is the class system. For some, it feels more like a hero shooter now, and less like an actual military, you know, gritty war title, which is what most people wanted in Battlefield 2042. It kind of screams identity crisis, which is a shame, because I think, for the most part, on paper at least, it's pretty straightforward to have a Battlefield game feel like a Battlefield game. Next up on number 2 is the lore. Now, the funny thing is, I'm willing to bet that at least 60% of the entire player base in Battlefield 2042 doesn't know anything about the lore of the game. It is supposedly trying to portray a world brought to the brink, where the world economy has collapsed, you know, satellites are crashing down, and soldiers have no official affiliation to their nation. It's a depressing war that's going on right now between the last 2 superpowers in the world. That's what it's supposed to be. Instead, we get this.
What a time to be alive!
That was something, right?
Well, that was fun.
Completely 100% the opposite. Soldiers are having fun, the maps look extremely clean for the most part, and nothing is even hinting at the lore as I just described. And on top of that, they got rid of the campaign. Now, I know most people don't really care about the campaign in Battlefield games, but I wanted to throw it in there, as I personally and many others still dislike the fact that we basically traded in the campaign for this quote-unquote lore that doesn't even show in-game. Now, before we continue, there's a new first-person shooter in development right now, and you can join the playtest and give feedback on the game's mechanics before the actual launch. It's gonna be a free-to-play, squad-based first-person shooter with both PvP and PvE elements developed by Wargaming. I can't show you actual in-game footage right now because it's all still confidential, but I can say that I've already played it, and I honestly think the potential is huge. A bunch of you also played it a couple of months ago during the first playtest, but for the people who didn't get in back then, now is your chance to check this game out for yourself. Click the link down below and register for the playtest starting January 6 up until January 16, only for PC at the moment, for the people above the age of 18 living in Europe. They also added a new roguelike game mode, which is what I'm gonna be playing, and keep in mind that everything in this playtest is under strict NDA, and don't forget to fill in the feedback form afterwards, as it's really gonna help shape the game, and you'll also get a €10 gift card, which is a nice bonus. So go ahead and click the link down below, register for the playtest, and be sure to give some feedback. Big thanks to Wargaming for sponsoring this video. Next up on the list, on number 3, is the communication between the people behind Battlefield 2042 and the community. To be honest, this has always been kind of a thing in this franchise, but with Battlefield 2042, it's extra annoying in my opinion. From the get-go, we've been told that this game has had an extra year of development time, and that they were way ahead of schedule early on. This was obviously not the case, and right now, the disconnect between the player base and the Battlefield brand, let's say, seems at an all-time low. People have been wanting some sort of roadmap for the game for a while now, to know what kind of changes and content are coming to improve the game. We pretty much get zero responses regarding all that, and the only real thing we hear from official sources is, you know, about an update on the weekly missions and which game modes are now out of the rotation or not. And that's also what is next on the list of things Battlefield 2042 players hate. The fact that we only have 2 main game modes for all-out warfare, which is obviously the main part of the game. We don't even have Team Deathmatch like any other game, or even Rush, which is a very iconic game mode for the Battlefield franchise. Now for that, you have to go to Portal, and find an official Rush server. But right now, for some reason, they actually removed it again. Of course, you can still find a custom-made Rush game mode in Portal, but it should be there on default. Like, it doesn't make any sense in my opinion. I mean, Portal even has an XP cap to start boosting, and because of that, progression is very limited. Another thing I personally dislike is the overall content seems very low in All Out Warfare. From the amount of guns, to the game modes I just described, to the amount of vehicles, customization options are very basic. Everything feels a little bit lackluster. Up next, on number 5 I believe, is Hazard Zone. The waiting time to matchmake into a game in Hazard Zone is already painfully long, and this simply indicates that pretty much nobody's playing this game mode, and for good reason in my opinion. I've played a couple of games here and there, and it can be pretty interesting at times, but it just feels like it's been tacked on last minute. It's not as bad as Combined Arms in Battlefield 5, but still, it's very underwhelming. Now for a couple of quick ones. Next up on number 6 is a Battlefield classic, so this isn't exclusive to Battlefield 2042, this has been frustrating in pretty much every single Battlefield game, and it is not being revived when a medic or a squad mate even is right next to you. It's super annoying. First of all, when dying in Battlefield 2042, you have yet again this call out system where your camera is now in third person and you can call out for help and look around you. I didn't really like it in Battlefield 5 and I still don't like it in Battlefield 2042. And on top of that, the camera sensitivity goes to like 5 billion when you are in this state, at least on console, which is super annoying. The distance indicator for how close a medic or squad mate is are pretty much busted, so that's pretty useless. But the most annoying part of all of this is when somebody is right next to you and they just don't revive you. It's a classic Battlefield experience, but it's a very annoying one. On number 7, I have a very specific one. You know those anti-armor grenades that Sundance has? You know what's really annoying? When throwing one towards a tank or something like that, and instead it locks onto a helicopter 20 miles away and goes completely the opposite way. That's really annoying. Or this one right here. I throw my grenade towards this tuk-tuk, one hits, and I'm waiting for the second one to finish the job, but instead he decides, nah, I'm good. What the hell is even that? On number 8, and this one is really annoying, I have the extremely long intro cinematics for when starting a new match. First, you have this slow pan in of the map for some stupid reason. Then you have to wait 30 whole seconds before the match actually begins. And then after a couple of more cinematic intro shots that nobody asked for, you are forced to spawn in. It's super annoying to have this much downtime. And by the way, being forced to spawn in is also really dumb. Like, why is that? In any other Battlefield game, as far as I can remember, you could decide when to spawn in, even if the match already started. So if you want to change your specialist or loadout or whatever, you better be quick about it, because in 30 seconds, you're gonna spawn in whether you like it or not. But the thing that annoys me the most during this whole intro part is when I try to be the first one to select a certain vehicle, clicking on the vehicle, the game telling me I got the vehicle, and then nothing happens. I mean, look at this. You can clearly see I selected the stealth jet, I even had the checkmark icon, and I still didn't get it. This game, it infuriates me. On number 9 is actually a thing that's happening before all of this intro stuff, because first you need to find a game to play in. Obviously, with no server browser, which is also something everybody hates, it's very difficult to find a game on a specific map you want to play on. So what often happens is, you choose quick play, because that's the only possibility, you load into a game, and it turns out it's a map you don't want to play on. So you back out and repeat the process. Hey, look at that, it's the same map again, so you repeat the process. Hey, look at that, it's the same map again. It's probably the same server again. And you do this over and over and over and over and over and over
Again and again and again.
and over and over until you finally find a map you want to play on. And what's even worse is when you do finally get to play on a map you like, you have no control on what team you're on. So if you want to be the attacking team, for example, on Breakthrough, too bad, you can't switch teams, you just have to be lucky. And to make it even more annoying is when all this happens right before the game ends. So you join a server that's literally about to end. How stupid is that? Why isn't there a built-in system that doesn't let you quick join a match that's almost over? I don't get it. And last but not least, on number 10, I hate to repeat myself, but I have to say this. It's the bugs and glitches. I know it's annoying to keep saying the same thing over and over and over
Again and again and again.
and over again, but trust me, I didn't play Battlefield 2042 for some time before recording this footage, and the first thing I was greeted with was the fact that for some reason I couldn't aim down my sight and therefore died. That's what you're seeing in the background right now. I just couldn't aim down sight for some reason. Or I joined the game and my camera was stuck in this top down position and the only thing I could do is just simply quit the game. You know, stuff like this are so common in this game, and not even to mention the broken aim assist that doesn't even let me to get on target, or the input delay, or a million of other things. It's just annoying. But anyway guys, that's about it for the video. I know I've missed so many different things, so what I want you to do is to leave a comment down below with the thing that annoys you the most in the entire game of Battlefield 2042. Also, while you're down there, be sure to subscribe to the channel and drop a like if you want to see more videos. You can join the Discord, link is down below, and with that being said, I see you guys next time.